Hello and welcome to the podcast that explores the heartlands entertainment industries. I'm Brian.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Nicholas.
Yay! And we're back.
Yay!
And we're still on Zoom. It's still, honestly, I've kind of like fallen in love with this. This is nice because
this is pretty convenient.
It's pretty convenient because Kelly, you can call in from Ohio.
Yeah. Ohio. Bowling. I'm learning different areas of Ohio. Hold on. Bowling Green. Oregon. They don't say Oregon. It's Oregon.
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 Have you hung out in Golfing Purple?
Oh no, not yet.
Okay.
Golfing Purple.
It's a good place.
Yeah, it's funny because there's Toledo. I don't have the Ohio accent down yet. I'm working on it.
It's funny because like I forget that Ohio even has an accent because I always think it's like Minnesota.
I know you think, but it's different because it's still Midwestern. We should watch the Fred Armisen. He does a pretty good Ohio, but like the people here literally Perrysburg, and then they'll have like Bowling Green and like Oliver. It's still the way they say Oliver. Oliver.
Get Oliver.
But that's so not Oklahoma. Like
yeah.
Like I know that I don't have a huge Oklahoma accent, but I think people hear it, and they have, of course, a ton of assumptions about being from Oklahoma. You know?
Right. I feel like I'm constantly fighting the Oklahoma accent. I feel like I do good whenever I know I'm being recorded, but whenever I'm in a normal conversation with another Oklahoman, I just start sounding more and more like I was going down that way.
No, I've definitely caught myself saying way more things than but I also kind of like it. I think I kind of am forcing myself to like keep it because I just don't I don't know. I there's Oklahoma pride in my heart.
Yeah,
that's right.
Have you gotten called out on the accent by any Ohioans?
Yeah, a few people. I do y'all it up. I mean, that's just normal.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I'm talking, like, okay, so there's this like song I've been listening to, and like I'll be getting real into it. And granted, this dude's from Kentucky, but he's like singing about, like I don't even know what, but I'll just be like, you can take me down there. Oh yeah, and I just start kind of getting in a vibe, and then I'll like drop Oliver off at school, be like, all right, son, I'll see you later. Like, what? And I just think I want to put it on more for people than I actually mean to, but they're like, what did you say?
Yeah, you got to lean into the character.
Yeah, like, well, we're gonna go stay in Miami. Where? Miami.
One of my favorite interactions with a New Yorker. I was working on this reality show thing, and I it was something in the sense of like asking him, "Are y'all about to shoot?" And he said, "What?" I said, "Are y'all about to shoot this?" He's like,
"Are y'all about to
what?"
shoot? Yeah.
And he's from New York, and I paused.
Are y'all about to shoot?
Are you guys about to shoot?
Are you guys
laughing, and he was like, "Yeah, that's the spirit."
Are y'all about to shoot? Yeah, like, oh gosh. But okay, so they say wash here, but instead of like, we don't wash our clothes, but they wash things. And I'm like, wash? Wash? Wash?
Wash?
Anyway.
Wash?
I a long time ago, I had a guy from New York ask me, and I like truly, they like sincerely, and I know like genuinely about everyone staying in teepees and all that, but they were like, no, but like, how do you actually live? Like they were being genuine when they asked me, like they didn't understand it. Like I was like, well, we have like ranch style homes, like ranch style homes. And he had never could not understand that. I mean, I know that's not the silliest thing, but when you explain, we just have like brick homes, and they're like, wait, and people, okay. So for example, people here are shocked that there's no basements. They're like, why don't you guys have basements down there? I'm like, because the clay is it's like way too expensive to dig down into the clay. It'll flood. And plus the tornadoes aren't the danger anyway, you idiot.
Mm-hmm. We ain't got basements. We got Frady holes.
Yeah, as long as you look outside early enough, you don't have to worry about the tornado getting you anyway.
Get in the tub.
Get in the tub. Pull a mattress over your head.
My favorite thing is whenever somebody from not Oklahoma hears the tornado siren for the first time. It'll be clear blue skies, and they'll be like, "Oh my god,
What the
oh, it's coming! It's
It's
coming!"
weird not to have him here. It's really weird not to have him here.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
I'm sad. I can't wait to scare the kids. I'm truly going to scare. I'm trying to scare the kids next time. I think they'll probably still remember that though. They're not old enough to have forgotten that yet.
Childhood.
Yet.
Their magical lives back in the wizarding world of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It's just stunning how it's like you just have to really kind of look at someone in the eye and be like, yeah, no, we have plumbing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was like, what do you mean you've never heard of a ranch style home? Like, what? It's just a house that's one story that's made of brick usually. Like, like if you saw how much land, I think that's the best part about Oklahoma, even here, is like if you saw how much land you can buy for a plot, like just a plot of land here.
All of it.
Yeah, like we're way too close. Aaron and I want to put up a bunch of trees. We want space.
Yeah.
Why is everyone looking into our yards? Like, leave us alone.
Your
I
neighbor
want my picket fences. Not my picket. I want huge.
just like, Joe wash today?
Yeah, wash yourself.
But no, yeah, Oklahoma. We're not living in teepees, and
No.
It's not a third world country, people.
it's not. It's really not. There's a lot of exceptions about that.
Well, today we are talking about the wonderful world of Oklahoma from the perspective of the Cherokee Film Office. And for the listeners that are not from Oklahoma, we actually have a lot of listeners that are not in Oklahoma. So
This isn't
Just
for
to give you a picture. Yeah.
yeah, we're going to paint you a beautiful picture of this state. But the Cherokee Nation is one of the tribal nations that kind of lives in the northeastern. Well, the reservation area is kind of in not the reservation area, but the whole territory. It's kind of in the northeastern area. Quick little background of Oklahoma. We have a gazillion tribes here, and every tribe has a different section of the state that is either reservation land or territory. And the Cherokee Nation is freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Because
they have an awesome part of the state too.
They really do. There's a lot of there's parts of Oklahoma that are kind of just like gross scrub oak, which is.
I mean, listen, every state has that, right?
Yeah, and we can.
But
Not all of you listeners not from Oklahoma, you can't say that. We can say it.
Only we can say that. We can only we can talk about our scrub oak.
We have all of it.
Yeah. So let's go to our conversation with Jennifer Loren from the Cherokee Film Office. Jennifer Loren, welcome to the Okie Show.
Hello, OCO. Thank you so much for having me.
OCO. And for those that are unfamiliar with that, what does that mean?
It means hello in Cherokee.
Yay.
You can shorten it and say CO, which means hi in Cherokee. So.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. I thought you were mispronouncing Okie Show, and I was going to.
Oh,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. No, that's much better. That's awesome. That's so cool.
So we're talking about the Cherokee Film Office, and Jennifer Loren, what is your position within the film office here?
I am the director of the Cherokee Nation Film Office and original content for the Cherokee Nation. So I am a filmmaker. I was hired to create content for the nation, for my nation, and that through creating that content and working in film, we grew the film office out of that. And so now I'm the director of that.
That's so cool. So what all does the Cherokee Film Office do kind of in a nutshell?
Yeah. So it's hard to put everything we do in a nutshell. Let me just preface by saying that.
Your website, it's like a long list of things. So that's the whole podcast. Just list everything and then we'll be done.
Yeah. So we started 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, and had a 5-year plan to sort of accomplish this, that, and the other. And it took us, about a week to realize that we were going to move through that 5-year plan a lot more quickly than 5 years. And so we've already gone through the 5-year plan in 2 years. So essentially, we were created to function as a film commission would, so like the Oklahoma Film and Music Office is a film commission. And they bring filmmakers to Oklahoma. They help filmmakers that live in Oklahoma. They have, of course, the the film incentive, which is the carrot that they dangle to bring everybody here, and then people get here and they love it here. And so we are partners with them, and also the Tulsa Film Office, and excuse me, and essentially we function in that same way. We don't have an incentive, but we obviously play off of Oklahoma's incentive. So when they come, we want films to consider when they're thinking of filming their projects in Oklahoma, because of that incentive or any other reason, that you not only think of Oklahoma, but then you think of the Cherokee Nation within Oklahoma. We of course have a lot of diverse ecoscapes, like the rest of the state. It's beautiful here. We have friendly people, low cost of living, all of the things that Oklahoma sells, for reasons to come to the state. We have those within the Cherokee Nation as well. But then, of course, we have the added element of our Cherokee Nation being a sovereign nation, and the cultural connection there. And so in addition to working as a film commission, we also have a mission to increase the presence of Native Americans in the film and television industry. And so the way that we do that is we have created essentially some databases or directories for, I'll just say Hollywood, but film creators, to be able to say, well, there's no excuse anymore. We have Native American crew for you right here, so you can diversify your crew, especially if you're working on a Native themed project. And then we also have our Native American talent directory, so that we have, I think we have about 500 Native Americans in our talent directory. That also takes away sort of that excuse of having non-Native people play Native roles in films.
And I bet that's hugely helpful to casting directors in Oklahoma when they're going, hey, we need Native roles, or people to fill these roles. That's an easy access now list, which is wonderful. I feel like that's
we just want to serve it up there on a silver platter and say, here they are. We don't have any, you don't even have to you don't have to request to see a list of people. They can put their own information out there. We do certify through our office that they are citizens of a federally recognized tribe before we put them on our directory. But once they're approved, any casting director can get on there and see them. Our challenge right now is getting the word out that this directory exists, because we're telling people all the time, no, go to our website and look at our directory. And they're going, wait, what directory? And we're just go and look at it. So yeah.
That's so freaking cool. And you guys, your website is phenomenal. You basically have everything that we're going to be talking about today. You can go to Cherokee.film and you can see everything. It's such a well put together website. I love what you guys have done.
I've got it up right now and I'm on it. I'm liking it. Sorry.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that shout out.
So first, let's talk about the locations. Where in Oklahoma specifically are we talking about?
The Cherokee Nation is in the 14 northeastern counties of Oklahoma. So you're looking at on the eastern side of the state, we border with Arkansas. And so you're looking at the foothills of the Ozark Mountains, which is one of the reasons that, when Cherokee people were forced over here on the Trail of Tears, they settled in that area of Indian Territory because it was the most similar to our original homelands, which was in the Smoky Mountains in the southeastern United States.
Yeah.
And so, but then our land goes all the way over to kind of central northern Oklahoma. So you have the grassy plains and rolling hills and all of those kinds of things as well. So
all the nice typical Oklahoma shots.
Yes. But then we also have a piece, the northeastern corner of the city of Tulsa is within the Cherokee Nation too. So Tulsa's in the Cherokee Nation.
Excellent.
Absolutely beautiful landscape. We've had the Oklahoma Film and Music Office on to talk about all the different things that they do, and just like the varied ecosystems that we have in this state, and especially that's like the best part of this state is like that.
It really is.
That whole section with actual trees
that
aren't like scrub oak and stuff, and like the rolling plains.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
We had actually Tava from the State Film Office came up here and we did a tour, and she was so excited. We have pine tree forests, that that people don't know exist in Oklahoma, and we have them in the Cherokee Nation. Yeah.
And so on your website, you have a couple different options to look at under the realm of locations. Can we talk a little bit about all that kind of stuff that you've got?
Sure. So you can explore those ecoregions if there's something specific you're looking for. But I think it's kind of, if you just want to get down to brass tacks here, the locations gallery is where your locations folks are going to be looking. So you can go into our locations gallery, and we have actually hired a professional photographer to go out and take photographs in all 14 of our counties to develop this locations database. And so I think we're at 1,800 locations right now. And we'll make our way through our final counties through the summer. But you can go in there and search if you need a barn, if you need a military base, if you need a hotel. I mean, you name it. Our photographer is actually a filmmaker also. So she knows, kind of what people are looking for. And so you can find really crazy, really interesting locations on here. We're working with a film right now who, was interested in I can't say which film or what they were specifically looking for, but
right.
We were able to, know what they were looking for, and popped up about 15 locations from the Cherokee Nation that matched what they were looking for. And they were able to choose 3 of those that we're looking into further for them. So it's really handy to have all of these just easily accessible like this. And then everything just so you guys know, everything that goes into our locations database, we share with the state's film office. So when we put it into our locations directory, it auto populates onto the states as well.
Wow. Oh, that's excellent.
So nice of you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. No, but that's easy that you can find it there too. And then that should bring you like, hey, this is where you're going to be looking in this area. I'm even looking at like rodeo arenas and cemeteries. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
If only I had known about this when I was in college.
So one thing I want to note too, though, about Cherokee Nation locations is that, something that we are really looking into a lot more right now, and sort of as I'm looking at our strategy moving forward into 2021 and 2022, is all of the locations that the Cherokee Nation owns. So we have some really cool places that we own that I'm really excited about opening up as film locations. For example, we just purchased Will Rogers' birthplace, which is amazing.
Whoa.
Yes. And so, Will Rogers is Cherokee, or was Cherokee. So we just purchased that from the state. And you can look it up online, and it's in our locations database and near Oologah, but it's beautiful. It's this ranch overlooking the lake, and there's an airstrip, a private airstrip right there. There's longhorn cattle. So I'm really interested in starting to market those locations that we own internally as film locations.
Wow. Yeah. So if someone goes through your gallery and they say, okay, well, I want to shoot at this barn in the field, what do they do from there?
You can reach out to contact us at the Cherokee Nation Film Office. And then I have a database and location specialist who essentially can say, okay, if this is where you're wanting to shoot, then I can reach out to the owner of this, get their information, and then do an information share. And then for the part of the owner of the property, we also want to make sure that we're taking care of them. So essentially what we do is we would have sort of a one-on-one kind of class on what you need to know as someone who owns a location that might be used for a film set, and what you need to do to protect yourself as the owner of that property. And so we have some handouts that we can give to them as well.
And then
we step
really
away.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that being done before. So that's awesome.
Yeah. That's really great because, every once in a while, if you film at a location and, things happen, like things get dinged and all that stuff. And it's just kind of like one of those, if I ever knew somebody and they were like, hey, should I offer up my house as a location? I would honestly be like, probably not type thing.
Yeah.
So that's really cool that you guys take care of the owners in that way as well. I think that's awesome.
And we require that if they're going through our office, there has to be a contract in place for that location to be used. And then the owner will know what's needed in that contract. And certainly it would expect some form of payment as well for using a location. We don't do permitting or anything like that because while we are a sovereign nation, and it is now considered a reservation, we haven't done any permitting or anything like that.
Got it.
So now let's move over to the directories, which is the directories. Having a directory that is specific to a tribe like this is so unique, I feel like, and so freaking important also. So how does one get on the directory for Native crew, Native talent, support services, consulting, locations, all that?
Okay, so we agonized over this. Because a lot of film offices will set in order to be able to be in their crew, you have to have a certain number of credits, right, to get on there so that, that when people come in and see you as a crew member, they know that they can take you seriously and you know what you're doing. So the issue that we have is that there are so few Native Americans in the film industry that we're really trying to recruit people to get into the film industry. And so what we did was we decided that you do have to have at least one credit to get into our directories. And then we work our butts off to try to get you that credit if you don't have it. And so we have a list of people that didn't make it into our directories yet because they don't have a credit, but a list of people who want to earn that credit. And so we're constantly offering that list up as like, hey, if you're coming to Oklahoma, not even in the Cherokee Nation, but if you're filming something here and you're willing to take on some apprentices and things like that, here's a list of people who want to get their foot in the door.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's something that I think, we, Okie Show, if we're ever like needing to find people who want to learn while we are doing a sketch or something like that, that's a perfect place to go access, be like, hey, y'all want to come learn from the sound guy here, Yeah. That's amazing.
So cool.
Sorry, I'm just going to be praising you the whole time. That's my only job.
Really good to hear. It's good to hear the practical uses of
amazing.
That. That's something that we didn't, that just came through, we have the directory out there and then we realized quickly that there were a lot of people who wouldn't have that credit. So we're just creating that. Yeah.
But they want to, one, they need that to bridge that gap to get in and then they can be accessible on the list and hopefully get more people on the list. Cause that's, like you said, if it's lacking, what can you do if they don't have a credit? Well, show everyone the list. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we're doing that. We're getting them on that list, but we're also, anybody who gets on that list of wanting to get their foot in the door, we're offering them scholarships to take Film Crew 101 classes, scholarships to writing classes at OSU Tulsa. We're trying.
You've got casting on your website as well, like casting calls and workshops, events, everything's listed. So that's, for them, that's a huge,
wow,
go-to accessory.
Yeah. So we're also really hitting those casting calls hard right now, trying to get people to realize that they can be part of this.
Hey there, film folks. If you're trying to get your project made, I got to tell you about my friends over at ngpfilm.com. If you are in the state of Oklahoma and you need equipment to get your project made, you need to go to NGP. They've got camera equipment, grip and electric equipment, sound equipment, production gear, stuff for your locations, pretty much everything. And if they don't have it, they're going to help you find it. Their customer service and support is out of this world. Literally, if you're in the middle of your day and you need extra gear, they will come to where you are and drop the stuff off. Or they have a super convenient night pickup and drop off. So you can call them, they'll leave it in these really cool little bins with a code that they give you, and then you show up and you put the code in, and then voila, you got the gear. And then when you're done with the gear, you come back, you leave it in the drop off, you put the lock back on, and then shazam, your day's over at 3 a.m. ngpfilm.com is pretty much the best thing Oklahoma Film has to offer. If you have any rentals, anything that you need, check them out, ngpfilm.com. Say you've got a project that you're filming tomorrow, but what's that? There's construction that started across the street next to the overpopulated dog kennel? If only there was a better, more controlled environment to shoot your movie at. a magical place where the location owner doesn't change their mind last minute and send you scrambling to find a new spot to shoot your high school-themed alien invasion murder mystery. Where is this land of milk and honey and craft services? Green Pastures Studio in Oklahoma City is a 12-acre campus boasting over 8,000 square feet of Hollywood-grade soundstage, plus standing sets including a high school, police station, hospital, bar, a full house, and a wooded backlot. The campus has everything a filmmaker might need to elevate their production, so why not build your dream at Oklahoma's premier soundstage? You can learn more at greenpasturesstudio.com. Green Pastures Studios, so much more convenient than your ex-girlfriend's dad's house.
Part of this.
Now, whenever they're applying to get on the directory, are there, I'm sure there are those out there that, are thinking to themselves, well, I think I'm part of the Cherokee Nation, but I'm not really sure. Like, how do they confirm that?
Yeah. So this is like a daily question. People, are saying that, I think I'm Cherokee. So essentially, we have, if you're a citizen of the Cherokee Nation, you will know it through your family. If your family hasn't gone so far to get their citizenship, it's an actual process. You don't just say I'm Cherokee and you're Cherokee. You have to go through the process of of becoming an actual citizen. I have a card that's my citizenship card.
You mean one of these?
Oh, where is it? Way to flash it, Brian. Flash that card.
I just showed my address. That's great.
You can't really see it, but
if yourself on your own podcast.
It's an old address, so I need to update this.
Yes, and there's a website for that. It's the Gadoogie portal, and you can update all your information on there. But essentially, you would just go through the different and you don't have to be a citizen of the Cherokee Nation to get into our databases and directories. You can be a citizen of any tribe and get into our databases. And so obviously there are a lot of tribes in Oklahoma, and then 500 and something tribes in the United States. Anyone from those tribes can be included in our directories.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Is there I'm going to ask a question that I feel is a little ignorant, but I think it's also important to kind of bring up. But is there a percentage of blood that you need to be at to be able to, apply for that kind of thing?
For the Cherokee Nation, no.
Yeah.
Other nations, they do have blood quantum rules. But the Cherokee Nation, our citizenship comes from if you have a descendant, if you have an ancestor on the Dawes roll, which essentially was a document that sort of documented all of the Cherokee people in Indian Territory as it was becoming the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And so they documented
all this. At the Trail of Tears, they put their name on a list, right?
No, it was actually quite a bit after. So the Trail of Tears was 1838, and the Dawes Commission started just before 1900. So, and it went through like 1907. So,
yeah. Okay.
But every tribe is different. Every tribe has their own way of deciphering citizenship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so.
I do want to eventually make something and call it blood quantum. That's such a cool.
There are already projects out there. I believe there's a vampire film called Blood Quantum. Yes.
Okay.
That almost sounds like a metal band.
Yeah.
We are Blood Quantum.
Yeah.
Metal.
So with some of, go ahead. Sorry, Brent. I was going to say, with some of your other services that I see on your website that you offer, more than just offering up people who do this in the industry, like when it comes to consulting, or I see like consulting and concierge, like what are you? How does the office utilize those? Yeah. Yeah.
So we have in the last 2 years. We have helped more than 90 films or film projects, film or TV projects in those 2 years in one way or another. Yes.
And one of those years was a pandemic. Are we counting this pandemic year? So
yeah, I know, right?
That out there.
Yeah.
Everyone who was lazy this year.
Yeah.
So So essentially, when it comes to our cultural consulting, that's something that has been really something we figured out as we've been going along, how that piece works. We knew we wanted to do it. We just had to figure out how. And so we've got it pretty fine tuned. Essentially, we've had films that come to us and they have said, hey, we've got this film and it has a Cherokee theme or a Cherokee person in it. And we just want to make sure that we're being authentic. And so can you take a look at it? Can you read the script and do this and that? And so we do offer that. However, it's not a free service because as with everything, people deserve to be paid for their work in film. And so what we do is we connect them with a consultant who is an expert in that field. And that's just internal community knowledge from being a Cherokee person that I know who knows about this particular thing. And so we connect them with that person. We say, would you be interested in reading this? So for example, I have, we're working with a really big project right now that takes place in our old Cherokee Nation in the late 1800s and has Cherokee characters in it. And to get that call is really, it's kind of like, oh, great. It's kind of scary for us because people get Cherokee culture so wrong 99% of the time. And so usually it's like, yeah, this is not right. We're going to have to totally redo this. But on this case, it was actually it was pretty accurate. And so what we did was say, yes, we would love to consult on this. You've got it mostly right. Let me connect you with this expert. So they had a call. They decided they liked each other, that they were the perfect fit. And so then we said, all right, you guys have to have a contract with this consultant. So we make sure that we oversee that contract process and then we let them go. And then they consult with that person. And it can be more than one person, but we also have people that come to us and say, I have this film, it's about Indians. Can you make it Cherokee? And we're like, no, we will not do that. You make it Cherokee first.
Right.
That's So you have to do a little of the legwork.
I'm curious, just for the sake of, just for my own sake, what are some of the common misconceptions? Because I work with crew that come in from LA and New York all the time. And it's shocking to me how often I get the question of like, I thought there would be like teepees and crap around here.
That I was gonna say, this doesn't even deal with anything native necessarily. Just me being from Oklahoma, I met a person from New York who asked me if there were wild cows in Oklahoma. Wild cows. And I was like, I don't even really know what wild cow. What is that? And he was like, like cows not in a zoo. And I was like on a farm? And he was like, yeah. I was like that's what you think.
Yeah.
That's what you think of me. Cool. But I'm sure it's like 1,000 times. Like there are many stories of that.
Oh yeah. I mean,
zoo experiences.
But there's one.
Just going to see cows. Like, yeah, I guess
we're the wild cows.
Okay.
That is Kelly. There was we had a couple of producers in from Los Angeles right when we started our film office, and they wanted to go tour some parts of the Cherokee Nation, and we were on just a rural highway, and we passed a field of cows, and I mean one of the producers started screaming. She was like, "Ah, cows!" So yes, this happens. Misconceptions of Cherokees, teepees.
Yeah.
We never lived in teepees. We do not currently live in teepees. Headdresses, or war bonnets, those are not Cherokee. Those that is not something that all Indians, not all tribes took part in. There are certain tribes that had those, and Cherokees are not one of them. We've had some really interesting, just random factoids thrown out that people have heard are Cherokee and they wrote into their script. And, we have to dig into it because just being Cherokee, you don't know every detail about what's happened in Cherokee history and culture. And while we do know a lot, we have people that are experts in those areas. And so we'll go find out for them. But yeah, those are the two big ones, war bonnet and teepees.
And wild cows. Watch out. I just want to start telling everyone the tornado sirens that go off, that's just the wild cow release. So you run.
Watch out.
Yeah.
One time Saturday at noon, you run when the wild cows get out.
Well, and I'll tell you, for the listeners that are curious about Cherokee culture, that there's in Tahlequah, there is, what am I thinking of? It's the Cultural Center.
Yeah.
The Cherokee Heritage Center.
So
Thank you.
cool.
It is
That place-
so well done.
So
And if
awesome.
you want a crash course in the history of the Cherokee Nation,
Take
that's
your
the place
kids
to go.
there. It's
Yes,
so cool.
and it's immersive. It's living history. It's wonderful. I would highly recommend it.
I'll tell you that there's a section of the museum where it kind of walks you through the history of the Trail of Tears, because the Cherokee Nation originally came from South Carolina. Am I remembering that right?
Southeastern United States. So you've got several states in there: Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, Alabama. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so it just walks you through the entire history of the Trail of Tears and just like that entire event. And it's just like, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little weepy whenever I went through that, just because, you know, I unfortunately was not raised in the culture the way that I wish I had been. In case y'all missed it, I am a member of the Cherokee Nation. But I think a lot of members of the Cherokee Nation, we unfortunately aren't raised in that culture, in that history like we should. And it's a really rich and beautiful history. It's just really
It is. It really is. And, you know, just for everyone out there listening, just because, you know, you didn't grow up in the Cherokee Nation, in the community and immersed in your culture, doesn't mean that you're not Cherokee. You know, you are here because your ancestors survived, and that's really important. And so just because you don't look Cherokee, like people want to say, and you don't live in Tahlequah and that sort of thing, doesn't make you any less Cherokee. So
that is a beautiful message. Thank you for saying that. That's great. So let's talk about what everything the film office has gotten done so far, because y'all have only been in existence for 2 years, which y'all are babies. And you've done so much.
You're
Babies with
super
90
fat
children.
mega babies. That's a compliment. In the boss
okay,
baby
all
world.
right.
Yeah.
Promise. In the child terminology, it's a
Yes.
win.
So brag on yourself a little bit. What are all the accomplishments that have happened so far?
Well, if you go to our website and just look at what we have built there, I mean, that is our biggest accomplishment, and everything that lives on there. So those 1,800 locations, the scholarships that we have been able to provide. We sponsor a lot of film festivals so that there's always the opportunity for Native Americans and anyone in Oklahoma. You know, like we're a big sponsor of Dead Center, which is the state's largest film festival. By the way, this year they have the first ever Indigenous Film Award, which we sponsored and are doing the $1,000 cash prize for. So
I did not know that. That's amazing.
That's awesome.
yeah,
That is
Breaking
so
news on
cool.
Okie Show.
yes. And so we're also, you know, we announced our film office for the first time at Sundance. And so they have the native labs at Sundance. And so it's the perfect place. We're always trying to kind of keep in lockstep with Sundance. And so we announced ourselves there the first year. Then the next year we were able to help create the first ever Indigenous Filmmakers Lounge at Sundance. And then this last year, obviously Sundance didn't happen in Sundance. Well, I guess it kind of did, but most people didn't go. They had their satellite screens, one of which was here in Tulsa at Circle Cinema. So we were the presenting sponsor of that, and were able to bring that content to Tulsa and bring Sundance to Tulsa, which was amazing. And so those are some of our accomplishments and sponsorships. We also sponsor a lot of writing classes, so screenwriting workshops, fellowships, those sorts of things. Here locally at OSU Tulsa, we have partnership with them. And then also we are partners with a group in Los Angeles called the LA Skins Fest or Barsid Foundation. And so they do a lot of training for film professionals who are actually in the industry or trying to get into the industry out in Los Angeles that are all Native. And so we have done a lot of work with them, and we were super excited last week to learn that we've sponsored their Native Writers Labs. And one of the Cherokee Nation citizens who's gone through those labs that we sponsored just signed a deal with ABC to write a series based on a Native woman for ABC called Dark Horse. And so that's a huge success story for us.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
That's
That is huge. Yeah.
I mean, I think the scholarships is I'm really proud of that because we're able to, sort of pluck people out of rural Oklahoma even and say, yes, if you have a story to tell, you can tell it and you can learn how to craft it to be on TV or on a film, and then providing them the resources to do that. And actually the pandemic was added a little bit of a silver lining in that a lot of courses went online. And so we were able to connect people that maybe wouldn't have been able to go to these classes in person. We're able to take them because they could do them online, and the fellowships as well. So
for anybody that's interested in looking at those scholarships and potentially applying, where can they go?
Cherokee.film. And then, you know what? We have a really robust social media also. So I would highly recommend following us on Facebook and also Instagram, wherever you like to do your social media. If you don't like social media, totally get that. You can go on our website, also Cherokee.film. And then I think, if you go to news and events, then you'll see a little drop down that says scholarships. So
yeah, I love it. I just, again, I got to compliment you guys on your website because it's just so well organized and just so easy to follow. There's a lot of websites that are a little, I think it's easy to get kind of in the weeds and for young filmmakers to get confused and overwhelmed. And I compliment you guys on being so well catering to the young and upcoming filmmakers.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, we've worked hard on it. And I have to, give lots of props to the Oklahoma Film and Music Office because they've taught us so much in the last 2 years, and we've learned a lot from them as well, even in developing our website, kind of what works, what doesn't, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's so cool. Jen, what's the game plan moving forward with the Cherokee Film Office?
I am trying to get our own film incentive in place. So it's been, since I took the director position of the film office, we've had plans in place to create a film incentive, a Cherokee Nation film incentive. When I took that position, I kind of put the brakes on plans and said, let's look and watch and immerse ourselves and see what we think after a couple of years would work best, because creating a film incentive is, as you can imagine, no small task. There's all kinds of work that has to go into it, figuring out what's going to work best, what helps us accomplish our mission, what's going to work well for existing filmmakers in the state of Oklahoma, local filmmakers, which is very important to us, what's important for Native American filmmakers, and then also bringing Hollywood here to have that economic development impact here. So I've taken the last 2 years to really study all of this landscape, and I think I'm at a pretty good place right now where I'm going to work on developing our own incentive to push out there so we can bring people to the Cherokee Nation to get that incentive. That's a big plan.
And then they're never going to leave because they're going to go up, to Tahlequah area, or, we're going to go stay at a cabin as we drive back into Oklahoma. People,
that's our plan. We want them to come and then never leave.
You don't need to leave, yeah.
But you can also stay in
Ohio.
You can also come, don't forget that the Cherokee Nation is in Tulsa too. So, you can be in Tulsa. But what I want to do is, over the next 2 years, really strategically make the entire 14 counties inside the Cherokee Nation a back lot, just really start thinking of it like that. Like, here's your base camp, could be the Hard Rock, which we never got to talk about. We offer filmmaker discount packages, by the way, hotel rooms for $89 a night, which are usually more than $200 a night if you work through our film office. So you have your base camp there, then you have the whole Cherokee Nation as your back lot. So,
wow.
Oh my gosh. Are there any plans for building a soundstage or anything out there?
We have that in our plans as well. Yeah. So stay tuned.
We're going to have mega soundstage. Oklahoma's going to be amazing. I love it.
So love cool. And man, I've been wanting to, Nick, I think we're going to have to work on another script to, utilize all these amazing resources.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So, one final question for you. Do you have any fun anecdotes from your time, working with the film office so far? If you have names to drop, now's the time.
Yeah. And we're behind the Patreon wall, so this is exclusive stuff here. So this is
So I have a couple that come to mind. We had a couple that wanted to come introduce them, just stop by our office and introduce themselves because they had a script that they wanted us to hear that could be Cherokee. And so we said, okay, sure, stop by, and went into a conference room, shut the door, and they read the entire script. It was like a table reading between the two of them, going back and forth, and we had no idea. And it was awesome. We loved it. It was wonderful. But that was right after we had launched our film office, and it was so far from what we had ever expected for our meeting. And we were like, is this how all of our meetings are going to be? Because this is amazing. But unfortunately, no, it was only that one.
So was it literally like, all right, I have a 90-page script here. Have a seat. Fade in.
Yes, it was literally that, because we thought we put aside like 30 minutes, and we were in there for going on 2 hours before we finally, they didn't get all the way through the script. We were like, sorry, we have to go.
Oh no.
This is amazing, but
yeah.
That's why we need elevator pitches.
Yeah.
Give me your log line.
Yes.
Or we just need longer elevators that take about 2 hours. So you can just be like, okay,
there you go.
Page 1.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I forgive me if I'm prying, but Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh.
What are your thoughts? We are beyond the
paywall. I have all of the thoughts right now. I have all of these thoughts.
My dad has been hounding me since finding out about Killers of the Flower Moon coming. He's like, if you don't get on that set, I'm gonna be so mad because it's a movie about natives.
Right. Yes. So we are working with them to try and help them with their casting. And I tried to get them to look in the Cherokee Nation for locations, but it sounds like the Osage Nation has everything they need. But, it's an Osage story, and it belongs with the Osage people. And so we're here in a supportive role. Anything we can do to help. I do know that they're really looking for those background actors who could fit in as someone who was Osage in the 1920s, because, obviously not everyone looks like that anymore. And so we're trying to help them find those people. And then it's interesting because also those people have to live near Pawhuska, because there aren't really accommodations that they're offering for background actors, and so it narrows their search quite a bit. And so we're trying to help them with that. So we're trying to get people out there who maybe love the RV life to consider, you could have a role on this huge, amazing film if you jump in your RV and be ready to be on set.
I mean, it is a massive, what is it like? Is it 10 million or 50 million? I don't even know.
Their budget?
Yeah.
150.
Oh my God. That's insane.
They're going to be here from mid-April until late August.
God.
So it's I mean, they're going to employ a lot of people. So I know that they're crewing up, and they're getting their casting going right now. So I would say, get on those Freihofer casting calls, and if you're on our crew database, they have our crew database. So
that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Jennifer Loren, thank you so much for giving us some of your time and just talking about everything you guys are doing. I'm so excited, and also just so proud of everybody at the Cherokee Film Office for what y'all are doing. It's just really important and really cool.
Thank you. I have a great team. I have a really great team. So I can't sit here and take all the credit for everything that they have worked so hard over the last 2 years, and everyone's so invested. And it's really one of those things where, we do feel invested in this because, we are Cherokee, and we know that what we're doing is for the betterment of our people and for natives in general. And we have to see that 0.1 percentage. That's how often Native Americans are represented in media, is at 0.1%. And so we really have to see that climb, and we want to help do that. And so it's a great job, and we love it. So thanks so much for having me on and giving us some attention. And I hope everybody gets on our website and gets what they need.
Yeah,
well, we are very big fans.
Wado.
Well, thank you so much, and you have a wonderful day.
Okay, you too.
Great interview. That was awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Jennifer Loren. I see you're gonna make me say Lawrence. Dadgum you, Nick.
I'm sorry. As soon as we were off,
I planted that in my brain earlier, and now it's never gonna leave. Jennifer.
I don't
Loren.
know why. I did not make that connection at all.
I bit my tongue. I just it just popped into my head. I apologize, Jennifer Loren.
No, I said it. That's what I'm saying. You put it in my head.
Well, I apologize.
I apologize.
Putting it into the ether. Because that was a really fascinating and awesome conversation. And I just, it's really great to hear the work they're doing, because it really is like putting everything in place for people so that there really is like no excuse of like, I didn't know where to go to find that thing. It's like, really? You couldn't Google? You couldn't?
Yeah. Or like you couldn't give a phone call. It sounds like this. I mean, like literally she could easily answer any question that you have.
Well, and also from the perspective of like, this is Oklahoma with every, native tribe possible. That's an exaggeration, but like, there really is no excuse to not be inclusive in the world of native tribes in your film projects, whether it's crew or cast. So like, come on, people, get it together.
True. I mean, truly full of information, and like you said, the website's just fantastic. I'm going to spend more time on it. I want to like go out and just see these locations. I know, right? I've been kind of perusing the state in different areas. Lainey and I like to go hiking a lot. And, I just want to like go find a location on here that I think is super cool and be like, okay, I'm going to go out and like see this. Like, I want to go visit it. Anyway. Right.
Freaking gorgeous.
Except Brian has a gun with it.
That's essentially what hunting is for me, is hiking with guns.
Just a little extra weight for those steps.
Yeah. But I don't like trails. I just like crashing through the woods.
Yeah, I love that their photographer that they had go out was also a filmmaker, because there a lot of times with filmmakers and everything, they just have that like whatever is like weird and different is what you want to film at. You don't want to go to like, usually you don't want to go to just like, oh, it's a nice house or whatever. Like you want to find those rundown, abandoned warehouses and buildings. And like, that's where all the cool music videos are shot. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Drone shots of just the area. Yeah.
With the TV everywhere around. Yeah. It takes a special eye, and it looks like they got a good one.
Yeah. I also love hearing the many misconceptions of Oklahoma from the perspective of the Cherokee Film Office, because, I've worked with so many people from out of town, from other states that come in here, and they have their assumptions and they have these stereotypes and stuff that are just not true. Some of them actually are true, but most of them are not. And it's always fun to hear those. And I feel like today we should play an actual game.
Let's do it.
Now, since we are on Zoom, normally we would play a game called Shoulda Said, which is essentially where I say one thing and then the bell rings, and then I say another thing, and then the bell rings, and then I say another thing, and then the scene continues. We're going to play a kind of a Zoom style game called Your Cam Froze. This is Zoom Shoulda Said.
Relevant.
It's relevant. So basically, we're going to play out a scene, and at some point, one of us will say, "What's that? Your cam froze." And then the other people have to replace the last thing that they said with something else. So we'll just go right into it.
Yeah. Is it a two people conversation and one person's on the outside, or are we all talking?
Let's just do two people, third enter if we need it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. And I think let's get a location.
A film office.
A film office. Okay. All right. And what's a relationship?
Kelly, that's you.
Assistant, and executive.
Assistant and executive. Okay. And I think to spice things up, I think the assistant should be brand spanking new to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So who wants to be the walk-on?
Sure. I'll take that.
You want to be the walk-on? Okay. So you're going to be the one that says, I'm sorry, what? Your cam froze.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to try this. This is the first time doing this. So it can be awkward and weird, but you know what?
Okay.
Who cares? So, don't think twice. All right.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Hi. Hello. Hi. Sir. Hi.
Yes,
hi. I'm Janet. Hi. Hi. Oh, I'm not supposed to do that. Is it elbows now?
Well, I mean, we are over Zoom, but I guess we could still do that.
Sure. I'm sorry.
Super safe.
Just to be extra, yeah. So, hi, Janet. I'm the new assistant.
Hi. Well, I'm glad that you could help us out with all this. We have a lot of projects on the docket here, and I'm excited. Where are you moving in from?
Oh yeah. I'm coming up, from up north. Yeah, Minnesota area.
What'd you say?
Oh, I'm coming up from Canada. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Canada? Do you know where Canada is located?
I think
I don't know if you know your geography because you're kind of like in the blob in like the middle, Right.
I mean, it's way up north, right?
Yeah.
Brian, your thing messed up. What'd you say?
It's way down south, right?
Brian, your thing messed up. What'd you say?
It's on the moon, correct?
Oh, you're funny. Oh gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, it's so far north, it's like on the moon.
Canadians, you guys, it's like you're from the moon.
Yeah. Well, but I'm super excited to come down to like this like fryer pan of a state or whatever you call it.
Oh, what'd you say? Your thing froze.
Oh, your boiling pot of a state. Like a giant.
Your thing froze.
Like a cast iron grill. Is that a thing? No, that's not what they call it, is it? What do they call the shape of your state? It's like a cast iron pan.
Yeah, it's it's a pan.
That's like a southern thing, right?
Absolutely, most definitely. Kind of. It's.
Brian, your thing froze. What'd you say?
How dare you?
I am so sorry.
Listen, if there's one thing about Oklahomans, it's that we are super sensitive about the shape of our state.
Brian, you broke up. What'd you say?
If there's one thing about Oklahomans, it's that we are very proud of the panhandle of our state.
Brian, sorry, still can't hear you. What'd you say?
If there's one thing about Oklahomans, it's that we don't understand cooking ware.
Oh, right. Because you do everything over a fire like cowboy style, right?
Wait, Kelly, what'd you say?
Oh, right. Because you like to, is it called shish kebabbing where you put everything on sticks and smoke it over a big open fire? Like a s'more?
Wait, what was that? Kelly? What'd you say?
Oh, like a squirrel on a stick. I've seen those. I saw a video of someone eating a squirrel on a stick down there.
Listen. Squirrel is delicious in a very squirrely way, but no, we do not cook our food over fires. We cook them at a restaurant as God intended.
Oh, of course. Just like you wouldn't say everyone up in Canada cuts open the water and goes ice fishing, but we do that. Oh, you wouldn't say everyone goes out and, gathers up moose and ride moose out in packs or anything like that. No.
I'm sorry. One more time. What'd you say, Kelly?
That you wouldn't assume everyone else has a pet Canadian goose up there, right? We don't. We hate them. But y'all, you guys, see, there you go. I tried to say y'all as in Oklahoma style. That it didn't sound right though. But yous guys or everyone there, I don't even know how to say you people. I'm feeling inappropriate at this point. I don't even know.
Well, the good thing is that we have a lot on our plate today, and we need to actually kind of help with this production that is Native themed, and
Right.
we need to help them find a location. So now they're looking for a nice ranch home.
Sorry, what?
And,
Oh, sorry.
they're looking for a nice barnyard.
No, that's not it. What'd you say? Sorry.
They're looking for an open field full of buffalo.
One more time. What'd you say?
They're looking for a meteor crash site.
Oh.
And luckily, Oklahoma has at least 2 meteor crash sites.
Oh, do you want me to? Let me get on the website right now and I'll look it up because, it's right here, actually. I see that you can just Google it and it says in the Cherokee area, right there, the Crater Crash site. That's amazing.
Well, no, wait a second. We have our website. You can just check it out on our website at the locations area.
Right. That's what I did. When you asked, that's what I thought you wanted me to do.
No, don't use Google. Use our website.
Oh, sorry. So sorry.
Yeah, what'd you say?
Oh, whoops. Oopsie doodles.
What was that? What'd you say?
Oh, yeah. I quit. This job's just not for me. I'm already too stressed.
I love it.
Hey, Zoom, it works for improv.
It works for everything.
What do you know?
Oh, man. Well, if you liked what you heard and you would like to be a part of it yourself, be sure to check out patreon.com/Okie Show. And in the meantime, you can also look at all of our short films, all of the video portions of these conversations on our YouTube at youtube.com/Okie Show. And just hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, and now we're on TikTok. Freaking
Yeah.
Whoa! Hang out with us. The only thing that we don't do is Twitter because that is where people and their positive emotions go to die.
Twitter sucks. Can I say that right now?
Worst. I think we actually are on Twitter. I just never
We
check
are,
it.
but yeah.
Yeah. And we'll figure out what TikTok's actually about one of these days.
I don't understand TikTok yet. Apologies to every one of our listeners who think that we get TikTok yet. I'm too old, apparently.
Yeah, we do
I'm
not.
trying.
We do not.
Expect us to know TikTok. And guess what? No.
Yeah,
No.
we'll see. We're going to fill it up with something. Maybe just dance videos. I don't know.
It's just gonna be us saying miscellaneous things about Oklahoma. Like we should just literally. I watched an entire series of a guy pronouncing weird Ohio towns. We should just do that on our Twitter or on our TikTok. We should just
let's friggin' do it.
Go through a series of how to pronounce Oklahoma towns or like assumptions about Oklahoma. And that's
I like it. We should totally do that.
Oklahoma City.
This has now become a brainstorming session.
You guys are seeing behind the scenes.
Per sale.
Well, that's it. That's all we got for you. So we'll see y'all in the next 2 weeks. Use guys.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
The Okie Show is a mostly harmless media podcast recorded at Tower Studios in Oklahoma City. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. If you're a business or industry professional that would like to advertise on the podcast, email info@okieshowshow.com. Rates starting as low as $25.